as you bring all this consolidation together and all these different data sources and applications into one place, you've got to be able to manage them, and you've got to be able to do some analytics on what's actually going on and making sure you're providing a really good service out to people.
Well, that's even without bringing them together as well.
Yeah,
this is just more end-to-end view of apps and multiple databases. So Tam, so we pivot away from the traditional users doing business analysis of the data. What's your perspective on analyzing data?
Yeah, look, that's a good point. As you said, often a lot of people talk about business data being a gold mine, right? But what they don't really often think about is that telemetry data, the operational data, right? That these systems actually generate in the back end. So it's actually, in fact, just as important, right? Especially for the IT staff, right? They have a lot of challenges. Data can be quite voluminous. They're battling to keep their systems up. Obviously they sometimes get a bad rap for things like bad performance, and end users often are the first one ringing in, saying, we have this problem, and the IT staff had no idea about it, right?
Well, it goes back to your phone as well, Tam, analogy, because everyone is so they have an expectation that everything just works now.
Oh, exactly.
The number of business hours only systems have gone. They're everyone wants things now, and you got to keep it all up. So you got to have that visibility, don't you?
Yeah, and not just that, but there's also other challenges that IT staff face, which obviously the business people don't see, right? You've got things like staff looking after multiple technologies, deployments on premise, deployments in cloud, and then they've got multiple tools to manage different things, right? And often a lot of this data is actually siloed, and for IT staff being able to troubleshoot, it's not easy, right? It's often quite complex, and there's a lack of that visibility across the fleet, lack of visibility across the application infrastructure stacks. So what IT staff are looking for is some way or some management tool or capability which helps them get those insights, and that's what we do at Oracle. We actually are able to do that in some of our management solutions.
Well, I think it's also flagging that up early as well. So if you can start to see that there's going to be an issue, you need to be able to head it off at the pass. So to have that up to the minute analytics, and to have that system where you can look and go, right, I can see a problem coming here, not trying, and so you got a chance to react rather than, oh, it's broken, I need to do something.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, we've actually got 3 management solutions out there today. So obviously a majority of people who are DBAs or have used the Oracle technology, they would be familiar with the Enterprise Manager, and that's actually our flagship management platform, and really designed to support the Oracle Red Stack. However, we do have some limited capabilities to support non-Oracle as well. We also have Oracle Management Cloud, and that's delivered as a service in OCI, basically giving you that visibility across your application infrastructure. But it's really designed more for Oracle and heterogeneous kind of technology. So you can actually bring all those different technologies and be able to correlate when there are issues end to end.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
The third one is Observability and Management. So this one's the one that Clay gets really excited about.
And that's the new one. That's the new one, isn't it?
Yes. So Clay is our Executive Vice President for OCI. So he basically loves talking about observability management. It's the next best thing, right? And it talks about really design to drive hybrid and multi-cloud observability monitoring capabilities, right? And it's actually OCI native. So similar to OMC, it's delivered as a service on OCI. But it's actually bringing the best capabilities of both our Enterprise Manager EM and Oracle Management Cloud.
I mean, and I think this is the thing to make people realize that EM is not going anywhere. I mean, there is a lot of the tools that we provide to the database via the options that use EM as their front end. They're effectively their GUI to be able to work. So, it's definitely a tool that is still going from strength to strength, and it's very easy to install on OCI as well with using the marketplace images. So it will, but as a new user to the cloud, there will be that more tendency to use the new insights and operational. And we've made that very easy. As you create a database, there's a button that you click. Straight away, it builds up the service, and then it also lends itself out to DataSafe, which will help monitor what sort of type of data you have in the system and allow you to make sure that you're protecting your your data that needs to be secured, as well as if you need to share that data out for development, you've got the ability to mask and subset it as well.
So I think that's where once again, the ease. So one of the questions was, how do we show people who don't understand this? Well, we have free tiers. We have, you can spin these environments up for a few hours, see what it looks like. We have a lot of people who are still using spreadsheets and older tools. So even though, there's lots of reporting tools, we've got simple access. You guys are the DBAs. You know that the database platform is safe, secure, and up to date. If it can provide faster outcomes to the end users, and they see how it goes. We don't need to do these big, do a big deals, big commitment now to see what the technology looks like and get the technology in the hands of the people.
And get a demo, or if your company's already got a tenancy, you can obviously use some of the nice thing is you can use the free tier, and it seems that we're expanding that list of things that are available in the free tier all the time. As well as if you're already an existing customer, we actually have some of our features that are paid options that we do give you free. Now, one of those...
Tell us more.
Well, yes, but wait, there's more.
Damn, is there anything you can share with the people?
Yes, is there something maybe that would be really awesome for analytics that we have in the database?
What would be a differentiator? Why would someone who thinks Oracle's a dinosaur maybe look at Oracle again?
Look, I think since we're on the topic of analytics and mixed workloads, I think it's really exciting to know that Oracle is offering some free capabilities in our 19C database. To be able to leverage to get optimal performance, you can actually leverage our in-memory database.
Can you show us how easily that works, Tam?
Yeah. So let me just share my screen.
But that's a high-cost premium option, isn't it?
Well, normally you would need to buy a license for it. Prior to 19C, you would have to pay a license for it. But in 19C, you can actually configure it to up to 16 gig at no extra cost.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. So you can.
So this is where we can get people playing with it, see initial value, and then work out how to justify it moving forward.
We apologise for the people that aren't DBAs, and I know if Stuart was on the call, one of our other Tech Talk panelists, he would be going, no,
don't show the black.
So it's very easy to set up, right? Like, there's no application code changes whatsoever. You just got to set a few parameters in the database. So to leverage the free option, what you do is you set the in-memory force parameter to base level, right?
Yeah, right.
So just one other caveat is you need to have 19C with the patch release update 8 or later.
And we'll send a link through with
the blog. There's a blog about this, right? And then the other setting you do is you set the in-memory size. So you can set this size up to 16 gig to take advantage of that no extra cost, right? So, but I put 2 gig because, I'm not running anything super big, and I just want to quickly show you, the capability. Okay. So what I do now is once I've done that, so you'll probably need to restart your database once you've set these parameters. You then go in and pick the tables that you want to actually run in memory, right?
Okay.
So I've just picked a few tables here as an example.
Just saying in memory, and it pins them into memory. That's awesome.
And then I would run a query. So this is the query. This is a script that I've got, but it's actually printed out here of what I've actually run within that script.
Awesome. Yeah.
So the first thing is I'm going to run this query that's been without in memory, right?
Okay.
Okay. So that's taken me 14 seconds to run.
Yeah.
I'll put it in memory.
Yep.
And it's pretty much come back in under 1 second, right? If you think about this, if you're running reports that are running for hours or minutes, you could potentially bring this down to minutes.
Yeah, and we've got customers, you know, I've worked with customers who have done this.
That's very powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, now, and for our non-Oracle people, who we also have a similar thing in our SQL, MySQL service as well, called MDS. So there, you know, we do have a couple of different options for memory, in-memory type things like that, but that is very cool, Tam. And the other thing,
and no change, right? You just parameters.
Yeah, so no application code changes, because when people get worried about, oh yeah, you know, how am I going to optimize performance? Do I need to rewrite my queries and stuff? Yeah, and so you can actually, sorry, one other thing is that when you do enable the in-memory capability, you can do it per session, or you can actually do it at a database level.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's just something to note as well.
Well, and I've just got up on the screen here to show everybody. Here is the live lab where you can actually try that stuff out that Tam just showed you yourself. You know, Tech Talk regulars will know that we always talk about, hey, Tech Talk regulars, always talk about, we'll have badges and T-shirts made up one day maybe, about live labs. Obviously, it's a great way to try these things out, either in your own tenancy, as you've now seen, because you can get some free resource there, without having to license it to try it out. But also, some nice, easy to follow through steps here. You can see on the side here the different labs to be able to get everything going, enable it, and then try it out. So it's just a really great way, rather than you having to, you know, wander around the internet looking for blog posts and stuff. I mean, obviously, Red Thunder blog is really good, and we have a lot of great articles on there. Jason Lowe, who is normally the MC of the Tech Talks, he's always putting lots and lots of things on there. Sonal, yes, you had a question.
We actually have a question from Alwinder. Maybe it's addressed more towards our DBAs. So we want to know if you guys have flushed the buffers before the second run. That
I knew someone was going to ask that question.
So the question, Tam, is would it have been faster if you ran the non-in-memory twice? Sorry.
Yeah, I thought, oh, if I was on the other side of this call, I'd say, oh, that was in cache.
Sorry, what was the question? Sorry.
Well, so did you flush the buffer? So you ran it with no memory, and then you switched on memory, and of course it reduced down, but was it just because it was all in cache already? Effectively memory.
No. So I actually started up the database from basically, she shut down the database, started it up, and I just ran it the once off. So that's just an example of what I actually done. Yeah,
well, we can run it twice, and we'll show you the delta. But in memory is definitely going to be faster.
For our
certain queries.
Look, for our skeptics out there, please try the live lab that I just showed you there on the screen, and try it for yourself. I think that's the great thing here. You know, you can try it in there, and we'll give you the free, you know, the demo resources to try it yourself. Or the really nice thing is, you know, now if you've got 19C with that patch level that Tam mentioned, you've got 16 gigs of in-memory you can try. And remember, we said last week that there's also up to 3 PDBs you can have free as well now to try out the consolidated multi-tenant as well, which is really good.